I'll be honest, this one was frustrating to watch. When you're following a playoff level team, you expect a certain baseline, and losing like this stings. But credit where it's due, hats off to the Pelicans. They executed exactly what they needed to do, because coming into this game, I said it pretty clearly. If New Orleans wanted to win, they had to do three things: hunt isolation, let Saddiq Bey and Derek Queen shine, and slow the pace. And for the most part, that's exactly what happened, aside from the poor free throws and poor three-point shooting from the home team. And Saddiq Bey showed up. Derek Queen didn't fully get going, mainly because of foul trouble, but the bigger story was how aggressively the Pelicans leaned into isolation. There were multiple possessions where Zion's speed and physicality overwhelmed Victor Wembanyama. Not because Victor played poorly, but because isolation removes help, and Zion thrives in those moments. The other major adjustment was pace. New Orleans is known as one of the fastest teams in the league. Before this game, they ranked 10th in pace at about 101.5 possessions per 100. The Spurs, meanwhile, sit around 16th at roughly 100.5, but this game it ended at 95.5 pace. That's a massive slowdown, and it matters. The Spurs tend to shine in transition. By deliberately pulling the game into the half court, the Pelicans took away one of San Antonio's biggest advantages. That wasn't accidental. That was a clear, intentional adjustment. So yes, it's frustrating to see a playoff team lose a game like this, but it's also important to acknowledge that when healthy, this Pelicans team is genuinely good, disciplined, physical, and capable of flipping their identity when the matchup demands it. If there's a silver lining on the Spurs side, it's this: Dylan Harper showed up, Carter Bryant showed up, and that was interesting because I thought this might be a tune-up game for Sohan. Instead, Coach Mitch leaned into Carter Bryant's minutes. That tells you something. Now let's get to their outlook. Looking at the impact of yesterday's loss, they moved down in my power ranking. Not because of the loss itself, but because of how and where it happened. This was a home game against a team rated below them, and it wasn't particularly close. Because of that, the result carries a bit more weight than a normal loss would. It slightly shifts how the Spurs are evaluated going into the next stretch of games. It doesn't change who they are, but it does tighten the margin. Losses like this tend to linger, not in the standings, but in expectations. The Spurs now move forward with a little less buffer, especially with the schedule not getting any easier. And that's the key point. They're still facing above average opponents. They still have a heavy mix of away games. And now they're doing it coming off a result that didn't align with their usual profile. But it does make the path forward slightly narrower. In how the Spurs navigate that, especially in the next game against the Houston Rockets and the Surging Hornets, will tell us whether this was just a bad night or a signal that adjustments need to come faster. Now shifting the focus to Houston. Looking at the recent trends, this is a team moving in a healthier direction than the raw results might suggest. You can see it across multiple areas: minute stability, individual performance trends, and overall momentum. There's a growing group of players showing upward trajectories at the same time. And that matters more than any single stat. What stands out is balance. Houston isn't relying on just one player carrying form. You've got rotation guys trending up, veterans stabilizing the floor, and younger pieces holding their minutes without major drop-offs. That creates consistency, especially at home. And when a team has that kind of internal momentum, it becomes harder for visiting teams to disrupt the game. There's less volatility, fewer stretches where the game completely swings, and more lineups that can at least hold ground. Now here's where the matchup really turns. Houston are the best team in the league in offensive rebounds and second chance points. That's their pressure point, and it's intentional. Misses don't end possessions against them. This is where the Spurs need their French vanilla ready. Victor has to clean the glass, but it can't stop there. If San Antonio wants to counter this without getting bogged down, they need perimeter rebounding. Keldon Johnson, Stefan Castle, guards who can rebound, push, and immediately trigger transition, because pace is the swing factor. If the Spurs can get out and run, that's where they gain the edge. Houston isn't known for its transition defense, and that's the window San Antonio has to exploit. In the half court, both teams are actually solid in pick and roll ball handler actions. There's no clear advantage there. That's more of a wash. But if Houston start feasting on offensive boards and second chances, they can grind the Spurs down even without shooting lights out. The counterbalance is interesting though. San Antonio is one of the best teams in the league at preventing second chance points. So this game really comes down to which identity holds. If Houston control the glass, they tilt the game their way. If the Spurs secure rebounds and turn them into pace, they flip the script. That's a battle line. But what do you guys think? Can Castle bounce back from his previous slump by being a versatile guard who can rebound and push the pace? Or Jabari Smith and Capella manhandle the Spurs? Let me know your comments below, and until then, stay curious.